Thanks so much for making our tails wag by watching this guest interview from Arden Moore's Four-Legged Life.
Welcome back to Arden Moore's Four-Legged Life Show. I'm your host, Arden Moore. Our next guests are a husband and wife team, and they're ready to make a big confession. Now, they're not going to apologize for fast becoming the go-to source on pet sitting. Please welcome to the show the host of the award-winning podcast, Pet Sitter Confessional. We're talking about Meghan and Collin Funkhouser. Welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you for having us.
Hello.
Oh my gosh, you got all nervous. How long have you been married?
Almost 11 years.
So when I said you had a big confession to make right over the holidays, what were you thinking, Meghan?
No secrets here.
What? Everything's good, honest. Everything's good. No, hey, everybody. This time in our lives, pets have been there for us, and they continue to be there for us, and they need professional help too, because many of us are going back to work and taking other jobs or taking finally a trip. And what we need most is a team of professionally trained pet sitters, not the neighbor next door. And on our show today are Meghan and Collin Funkhouser. Yes, they are professional pet sitters, but they've stepped it up because they want to also help share some insights from the pet sitter's perspective and the pet parent's concerns. And that's, I guess, what made you launch a podcast. Is that right, Collin?
Yeah, it was. We had been pet sitting for several years at that time and realized that we wanted to share some stories and help grow a community with other professional pet sitters and get connected with them across the globe. And so it's been really fun to share stories, help raise the bar with experiences and talent and all sorts of educational opportunities as well.
Well, and it's really so that other pet sitters know that they are not alone. This industry can be really isolating because we're going into people's homes where they're not home. It's just their pets there that we're caring for, and so we're alone all day. And so, but you're really not. You know, when you can listen to other stories and experiences and say, "Hey, I know I did that too. I went through that as well."
Well, it sounds like you're filling a vacuum, and I don't mean the vacuum for the carpet. You do feel like you're a little bit alone, but there's an army of thousands of professional pet sitters out there, but you need a united voice, wouldn't you say?
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. There's so much institutional knowledge for how to conduct a pet care visit, how to problem solve, how to solutioneer your way into overcoming problems that you experience day to day. But whenever you're by yourself, you don't get access to that, right? You can't tap into that. And so we really wanted to provide a way for people to do that and to feel like Meghan said, like they're not alone.
So when did you officially launch Pet Sitter Confessional, Meghan?
It was August of 2019.
All right. All right. Before COVID.
Yeah.
Everything was cruising, right?
Yes.
It was very, we launched and we had all this plans for the podcast, and then COVID hit, and then all of our plans changed. And not just plans for the podcast, but plans as pet sitters, plans as our business. And all of a sudden we were grappling with, how do we navigate this? This was new for many people, for everybody, right? We haven't experienced a global pandemic in a little bit. And so we were now sharing in real time people's experiences with how they were handling meet and greets, how they were going into people's homes, how they were handling with cancellations, what they were doing about refunds or not. And it really became this great way to just kind of help everybody through that period. And we've gotten so much great feedback from people who said, that time you really helped me know how to navigate those waters because I was so scared. I didn't know what was going on. And whether you shared a tip or someone you were interviewing shared a tip, that helped me get through that.
I love that. And you put the capital P in pivot. Let's talk about your personal pet sitting business. What is it named? Where are you located? And why in the heck are you doing this? Were you brain surgeons before this? What or knitters? What were you doing before this?
So we are trained scientists. So we both have our master's degree. Mine's in environmental toxicology, and yours is?
Is in natural resource management.
And so we were both actually working on snails for our master's degree. I was killing them. He was trying to keep them alive.
And sounds like a perfect marriage. Yeah.
Yes.
Yin and yang.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so we were still pet sitting on the side at that time. And then he quit his job last year and we both went full time into this. And
Wow.
since then we're located in Missouri. And since then we have expanded into a new territory that's 2 hours south of us. We have hired employees and we've really grown and expanded.
Yeah.
What's the name of it? Please don't say it's called snail mail.
Oh, no, it's called Funky Bunch Pet Care. We do dog walking and pet care. So we're doing in-home care services. We don't have a facility. We come to people, we take care of their homes, we walk their dogs, make sure that they're treated like family.
And it's all because of the snail.
Yeah. Well, we started because we wanted to earn a little bit of extra money. As graduate students, you don't make a whole lot, makes nothing. And so we started as a side thing, and it's just something that continued to stay with us. And then year after year, we moved a couple times and continued to pet sit. I got a full-time job.
You have a child, don't you?
We have two.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
I forgot. Sorry, too.
No, it's
Been busy.
Which keeps us busy, and they love being part of it and helping us brainstorm photos and social media posts too. So they're all in, and they're 5 and 7. So.
Listeners and viewers that are on YouTube, which you're all going to after the show, right? Arden Moore, go to the Arden Moore channel. They took on a lot, and listen to them. They're happy. And you found your niche, it sounds like. Meghan, I mean, I know as much, you have a scientific mind, which probably helps in pet sitting. And you love animals, even though the snails might have a little disagreement. But, I mean, what do you think about how your life turned? You didn't wake up one day and say, I'm going to team up with my hubby, and we're going to do a great podcast. And ladies and gents, it has almost 350 episodes because they've been busy behind the mic. I mean, what do you think about how you evolved, Meghan?
I think it's great. I think that COVID really taught us about our priorities. So he was working a full-time job during COVID, but it brought him home, and we realized, wow, all this family time is fantastic. He can come down for lunch and have lunch with me and the kids, and it really shifted our priorities into going, okay, well, we're still doing pet sitting, and we can make this a full-time thing, and we can expand and just kind of blow this whole thing up.
What about you, Collin?
Yeah, basically along those same lines of realizing that all of the training and experiences that we had before, they didn't all go to waste when we made this transition. We actually just reapplied in a slightly different manner. Our love of numbers and data analysis and spreadsheets translates pretty well into managing a business and finances and planning. And our attention to detail goes really well when planning a meet and greet and caring for a pet, or how to dose certain medications. So,
or writing an update at the end of a visit of going, okay, I need to spell check this and grammar and all that sort of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. And I bet you have to tell me, please confess. You are the host of Pet Sitter Confessional. If you see a pet snail in the house, what do you guys just have, like an inside laugh? I mean, what's going on?
Yeah, we fight over it. No, okay.
We make sure it is safely placed outside where it goes.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Well, the industry as a whole, you are more than aware, has really gone through a major revolution. Some good, some bad. We've got about a minute and a half before the break. I mean, there are still people that are hiring a teenage kid to take care of your most priceless asset, your pets, and your most pricey asset, your house. But yet there is this growth in recognition that we need professionals. So before the break, each one of us, if you could, tell us, what is the state right now of pet sitting, in your opinion? We'll go with Meghan first.
The state of pet sitting is that we need more professional pet sitters, ones that are insured, ones that are Pet First Aid and CPR certified, and ones that do really quality work that will update the owner about the intricacies of how their pets are doing, if they ate or not, medication that was dosed, and then the home care as well. So we're going through a really big freeze right now, and we, at all of our clients, we have the faucets dripping a little bit, and we updated the clients with a picture of that. It's all these little things.
Thank you for doing that. Mine are all dripping right now too. And
yeah, it's all these little details that, people just think, oh, it's just, leashing the dog up, taking it on a walk and bringing it back. Like, how hard could that be? But it's all the little things that people need to be thinking about of taking care of the home and the pet.
And quickly for you, got about 30 seconds, Mr. Collin.
I'll say that it needs an increase in public education about what the industry actually is and a unified front from pet sitters across the country and across the globe to let people know the kind of professionalism that exists. Because once people know what quality care is out there, they'll know that they want that for their pets in their home.
I love it. Hey, everyone. We're speaking with Meghan and Collin Funkhouser. They run a pet sitting company called Funky Bunch Pet Care in Missouri, but they are the host of this great podcast called Pet Sitter Confessional. And we're going to dive in with them a little bit deeper after we take this break. So you guys know the drill. Sit, stay. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the Four-Legged Life Show. I'm your host, Arden Moore. We're talking with Meghan and Collin Funkhouser, and they are the brains behind a Pet Sitter Confessional. It's a podcast, but it's so much more. It is kind of uniting everyone in the pet sitting world and pet parents looking for good, qualified pet sitters. We're talking solo entrepreneurs, mega businesses, and you're a mom and a dad. You run your business. You're a scientist. I mean, there's a lot on your plate. So it comes down to this. What's happening? What's going to be happening in 2023? What would you say if you could crystal ball? What's some good things that might surprise people about the pet sitting world? Or I'm going to ask that first question. So, Collin, you get to go first this time.
Oh man, if I had a crystal ball, I'd have a lot more money than I know. No, I really think that the pet industry is going to continue to grow and expand. So growth, just economically, is forecasted to be kind of slower than anticipated, or at least 2022 was. But that growth is still going to be there as more and more people continue to have income and money that they're going to want to spend on their pet because their pet makes them happy. And they're going to, as they become educated on the possibilities for their pets, again, they're going to want to invest in that. They're going to want to make that a part of their lives. And so I think the service industry is going to continue to really grow as people, I think walks are really going to be a place where people know I can invest in that as we get different breeds in with different needs and energies and expectations for their pets to help manage a lot of things in their lives.
How about you, Meghan? What do you see as 2023 forecast?
Well, I don't know for sure, but I mean, I think as pet sitters, we're really going to finally kind of settle into life after COVID. I mean, 2020 was crazy and unexpected, and basically it was like the bottom of the barrel for everybody. And then 2021 was a little bit, slower of a growth. 2022 was absolutely insane. It was just everybody was going everywhere, and pet sitters were, filled to the brim. I think 2023 is really we're going to kind of level out and see, okay, is this going to be more back to 2019, or what's exactly going to happen? But I think it's going to be more of a leveling out.
I know on one of your podcasts, you had an episode called "You Need a Not To-Do List." Do you remember that episode?
Yes.
Did I do my homework?
Yeah,
I did.
What does that mean, Meghan? What's a not to-do list?
So we always think about a to-do list of things we have to do, but then there's also things that we shouldn't be doing. And that, as pet sitters, that means not setting boundaries. That means going against what we believe, what our company mission is, what our morals are. So if a client asks us to do something, for instance, go pick up my coffee or go pick up the dry cleaner. Well,
Biatch, do it now.
I, as the pet sitter, am here to care for your pets and your home when you're away, but I am not comfortable doing those extra errands. And some pet sitters do that and they charge for that, and that's great.
But that's concierge service, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So some pet sitters do that, but other ones say, no, I'm not willing to go outside of those boundaries. And so really just...
Okay, that's a good one.
Yeah.
How about you? You're just dying to say something, Collin. What's on your not to-do list that you would tell other pet sitters?
On our not to-do list is not undercharging for your services.
Oh, good. Okay.
So that's a big one of again, the not to-do list is things that I won't do or I'm not willing to do. And we have to sometimes have those plastered around our lives so that we remind ourselves that I'm not going to go there. That's not going to do. And
that's a big one. I mean, I teach pet first aid, and I always feel a little guilty what I'm charging, but I'm like, this is a 5-hour class and I'm a master, and there's a lot of setup and other things. So
Yeah.
I mean, how do you help the pet sitting industry realize to value their worth? Because they have to be experts in pet care, behavior, business. I mean, there's a lot of checklist.
Well, I think just continuing to talk about it. We have a lot of episodes, and we try to do this every few months of saying, hey, it's, raise your prices. You are worth it kind of thing.
Well, and reminding them of the perceptions of the industry. So I had an occasion to be riding in a tow truck because our car broke down, and I was telling the tow truck operator what I do, what our business does. And this is a person who runs his own company, and he's on the side of the road. He's in all sort of weather conditions. He's in all sorts of these things that he does, and it's an extremely dangerous situation. And I told him what we charge for our services, and he goes, there's no way you could get me to do that for what that money is. And so
that tow truck driver gave you a perspective, didn't he?
He did, and helping people understand exactly not just the money that you're making, but the costs to you, including costs of operating and opportunity costs to your life. I think that's one that we very rarely spend a lot of time considering of what wasn't I able to do today because I was doing these dog walks. What would I pay to get that time back? What are the liabilities on me? What risks am I taking on? And I think the more we focus on those kind of things, not being all doom and gloom about it, but just recognizing the seriousness and the severity of the situations that we're putting ourselves in, and then going, what cost is that? How much would that be to compensate me back for that kind of time and expertise that I'm putting into this?
Well, and I think this has really come into play since COVID, because a lot of pet owners have been with their pet nonstop, basically, and now they're going back to work, or now they're wanting to take vacations, and they're expecting the pet sitter to constantly be with their pet. Basically, there's a lot of 24/7 care that is being requested from pet sitters.
Because we're all worried that our pets have separation anxiety that we unintentionally are giving them.
Yeah. So they go, well, I'm going to be away for 8 hours. I need a pet sitter to come in and be with my pet for 8 hours.
Yes.
And trying to and setting some expectations around that, and just realizing what that cost actually is to you, your personal life.
Yeah. And I know pets are darn cute, but you have to run a business, and you have to be able to see a lot of four-leggers that are practicing Kegels right now and needing your help to get out the door. But it also shifts to, there seems to be a big movement for cats too. I see some practices in pet sitting that have decided voluntarily that they would rather be a feline only pet sitting care. What's your take on that? Who wants to meow in?
I think it's great. I think that, from pet sitters that we have heard from, it's a lot less competition. Everybody's going after the dogs, always the dogs, the daycare facilities, the boarders, the pet sitters are always trying to get after the dogs. And so there's a lot less competition when you just go straight for cats. You can also, if there's, one time a day for cats, you can fit them in wherever you want. Maybe it's 9 a.m., maybe it's 5 p.m. You can be more flexible with their schedule. And so I think that's a really big perk for pet sitters going with cats only.
Yeah, and because it's way more flexible, you can stack them. Again, this is pending there's not specific feeding or medication or other requirements for that cat. But if you're doing 1 a days for cats, you can stack them all together and really route plan a lot better. So it's actually more efficient for you and your business. So you're not having to drive constantly and make all these multiple trips back and forth for you. It actually ends up saving you money, and the cost per visit goes way down.
And you made a good point, and I hope everybody knows this. Cats need companionship.
Yeah.
They can't be ignored for days with a bowl of water and food and a dirty litter box. Collin, tell us the importance of at least a 1 a day visit for cats.
So, we get a lot of requests for people who want us to come over every 3 days or every 4 days. And the cat owners go, well, they have an automatic feeder. They've got an automatic litter scoop. Everything's going to be fine. And the thing is, as Arden, cats are really great at concealing illnesses or sickness or injuries. And they do get lonely, and they can put themselves into situations where you'd be surprised. I've pulled cats from behind washers and dryers because they panicked whenever their owner left, and they had been suspended there for several hours, ripping out toenails. They have feelings,
and they do have attachments to people. They're not goofy and over the top like a dog, right? But I think, I just had knee surgery. Nurse Casey, my ginger boy, is sitting by my leg all day on the bed, and he's very stoic, like, I got this. I feel like he has a little red cape on. But I think they don't be over demonstrative, but I think cats form definite bonds with two-leggers.
They do, and I will say that we get a lot of comments from people who go, "Oh, you'll probably never see my cat. They're not very social." And then the owner leaves, and we come over after 10 hours, and that cat is right on us. That cat is ready.
You
for
want to see
love.
some Netflix? I got a good show. Yeah.
and the owners are always surprised. They go, "Oh my gosh, I'm so shocked that happened." And what's actually happening is that cat had a companionship deficit in their life that was needing to be filled. And so when we're showing up, it allows that to foster. And really, that's part of that many people don't realize. And so as cat owners become more educated on that and the actual needs, top to bottom holistic approach for their cats, that's really where we see a lot of need growing moving forward.
Well, and then
we have like 20 seconds left. So I want everybody to know how in the heck to get hold of Meghan and Collin Funkhouser. They do have the Funky Bunch pet care business in Missouri, but let's talk about Pet Sitter Confessional. What's the best ways to find you guys, Meghan?
So Pet Sitter Confessional is our podcast. You can find it on any podcast player like Apple Podcasts or Spotify, or you can go to petsitterconfessional.com.
All right. I thank you both for being on the show, and I thank you more importantly for what you're doing for pets, pet parents, and pet sitters. So pause up to both of you.
Thank you.
Survived the show. Pause up, pet pals. Thanks for watching. If you liked my video, please hit the like button. Also, subscribe to my channel. I want to keep providing you with great guests, special first aid tips, and yes, more videos of these guys. See you next time. Pause up!